1. Deer with a wig? In the state of North Carolina, the weird creature that was spotted roaming the woods with something that seemed like a poor wig is actually a male deer that is suffering from a disorder known as antleroma, according to specialists who spoke out this week. NC Candid Critters is a camera trap program that operates in each of the state's 100 counties. On Wednesday, the group posted a photo to Facebook showing a buck that was infected with the disease. According to what was written on the website of North Carolina Candid Critters, if you look closely at this deer's antlers, you might notice that they look a little weird, almost like a bunch of grapes sitting on this buck's head. Antleroma is a condition that is characterized by abnormal antler growth. The post stated that, according to our deer experts at the NC Wildlife Resources Commission, this buck looks to be undergoing antleroma, a condition that is characterized by aberrant antler growth. According to images published by the American College of Veterinary Pathologists, antleroma has the potential to turn deer into monstrous creatures as their antlers develop into horrifying knots around the head of the animal. According to a veterinary study that was published in Sage Journals in 2014, in the most severe cases, it can potentially be lethal since the antlers develop in the opposite direction into the brain of the deer. People who left comments on the Candid Critters page described the bizarre growths as looking like a crown called kingbuck or a man bun. "Looks like it got a perm," wrote Greg Ditzler. One of the animals that frequents our backyard had one antler growing over his face while the other was developing normally. The other antler was growing normally. "It has always been a mystery to us as to whether or not it had harmed his eyesight," said Deborah Fortune. Candid Critters did not provide any information regarding the location or time when the buck was photographed. In the month of November, the program shared a photograph of white-tailed deer, each of which has a single antler raised in an upward position. And who is it that said there are no such things as unicorns? NC Candid Critters inquired about the photograph alongside it. A hunter in Tennessee January 2 was responsible for the death of cryptorchid buck, which had an even more peculiar appearance than other species of deer. Deer that are cryptorchids are referred to as freak deer since they do not fully exhibit male or female characteristics. 2. Ghost girl in the woods? It was taken by a trail camera in upstate New York. It was a blurry black and white picture of a young girl walking through the woods. People in the area are now wondering if the child is real or if he or she is a ghost from the past. "I think it might be a ghost. It's a spirit for sure. I think it's just a girl playing in the woods. It doesn't seem like a ghost to me. I'm not sure. These days it's hard to believe everything you see on social media." Local TV station WTEN says that these are the words of people who live in Cambridge, a beautiful town of just over 2,000 people, about 40 miles northwest of the state capital, Albany. The camera was set up near Route 74 in the town by new landowners who wanted to hunt in the area. They wanted to make sure that no one was crossing their land and putting themselves in danger, said Cambridge Police Chief George Bell. Bell says he doesn't understand how the image could be real and not just a trick of the countryside. He said, "I've lived here my whole life, and I've never heard of a ghost running around in the woods." He told W10 that the landowners have become more and more eager to find out who the girl is and get in touch with her family, since they saw the picture a few weeks ago. Local news site NewYorkUpstate.com says that locals say there is a legend about a girl who was hit and killed on train tracks that used to run through the area. Local people who are interested in the paranormal have noticed the picture. Tanya Woodward, head of the paranormal research team in nearby Greenwich, told W10, "We like to look at the actual footage from the actual camera it came from. There are a lot of historical places around here, and we learn a lot from them." Woodward told the station that the image doesn't tell her enough on its own for her to figure out what it means. "Trail cams don't take the best pictures. It's hard," Woodward said. She wants to go to the property with her team to see if there might be any paranormal activity. Bell said that the landowner has asked for privacy. What kids from the neighborhood are around? Have they had children? What time of day was it set up? Where was it put together? W10, Woodward said. Can we read it to find out what's going on and learn more about the area? Bell told NewYorkUpstate.com that a man had called and said the girl was his grandchild who was visiting from out of state and had walked on the path on the property. Bell said that his office had gotten other calls about the photo, but there were no solid leads. He also said that anyone with information about the girl should contact his office. 4. A werewolf? It was anticipated that the trail cameras used by the Gardner, Kansas Police Department would capture images of raccoons, foxes, and coyotes. They were given a whole different thing. The Gardner, Kansas Police Department trails camera were placed in areas where they were likely to capture images of raccoons, foxes, and coyotes. Officers were dispatched after receiving information that a mountain lion may be in the vicinity of Celebration Park. The police reported that they had set up 2 trail cameras in order to monitor any suspicious activities. According to Lieutenant Lee Kraut of the Gardner Police Department, it's not unlikely that there could be a mountain lion in this region because there have been complaints in the past. They didn't spot a mountain lion, but they did see a coyote, a raccoon, and some other types of wildlife, according to a post that they made on Facebook. They were taken aback by a few of the photographs that the cameras captured. When Kraut watched the images captured by the trail camera, he commented, "Immediately made me giggle. Right away, I called a couple of other individuals in the room and told them, 'Hey, you need to see this.' They found multiple photos of people dressed in costumes in front of the camera." 4. There are times when wild animals do not compete for food by attacking one another. Consider this picture as an illustration. You can observe a giant bear helping a little bear cub get a better view of the garbage can so that the mother bear may search for food inside. Isn't this a wonderful example of how a team works together? 5. When people go camping, they are frequently given the advice that if they have any extra food that they need to store, they should tie it up high in a tree so that wild animal can't get to it. But this cunning bear didn't flinch and simply pulled at the rope to get a taste of the food that some unfortunate camper had brought with them. 6. Who is to suggest that humans are the only ones who can play basketball? This deer wouldn't blink an eye if they put him in a one-on-one match against Michael Jordan or LeBron James on the basketball floor. Due to the unfortunate fact that the ball was caught between this poor deer's antlers, the game would have to be cut short. 7. He is known as the Grim Reaper, and he comes to get your soul. He holds a scythe. In most cases, the appearance of this figure wearing a mask and a black hooded cloak is not a positive omen. The Reaper of Souls is well known to the vast majority of people. He is, in essence, the embodiment of death. This legendary figure is typically represented with a cloak draped over his shoulders and a scythe in his hand. He is said to wield the scythe to harvest souls. However, was he actually able to be photographed by this trail camera at any point? You can choose to believe that the legend of the Grim Reaper is nothing more than a myth, but we can assure you that if you ever see him in the deep forest, you will do whatever in your power to avoid him at all costs. 8. People have a tendency, when they think of spooky pictures that were accidentally taken by wannabe photographers, to conjure visions of semi-transparent ghost children standing somberly behind a smiling group of living pals in the background of the picture. This photo, however, demonstrates beyond a reasonable doubt that frightening people do not necessarily need to be deceased. This picture was taken by the trail camera of a hunter who wanted to keep an eye on the wildlife in the woods next to his house. It depicts a bizarrely tall masked man taking a carefree stroll while carrying a machete with him. It is unknown exactly why the man, who does not appear to be aware of the camera's presence, was in the woodland on the night that this photo was taken. Nonetheless, the fact that he is covering his face suggests that his motivations were not in any way pure. 9. Do you remember the days leading up to Halloween in 2016 when rumors of murderous clowns spread quickly and scared the very daylights out of everyone? Things got so terrible that a lot of people were scared to leave the house, and some parents even forbade their children from going trick-or-treating for fear that they may run into a not-so-funny clown on the street. It would appear that the problem of deadly clowns has been going on for far longer than just the past few months. This picture was shot in the early morning of August 30th, 2009, according to the timestamp on it. This was a full 7 years before killer clowns began terrorizing neighborhoods all over the world. Regardless of this, there is a mature man depicted in the picture wearing a garish clown outfit and a frightening mask that resembles a skull and is covering his face. 10. Finding someone who accepts the existence of zombies can be challenging. Even the most ardent believers in paranormal phenomena, such as ghosts, aliens, and Bigfoot, all agree that zombies are a bit of a tall tale. However, if you look at this photo that was taken by a trail camera belonging to a hunter in the winter of 2012, you might find it much simpler to suspend your disbelief. This picture appears to depict an elderly man wandering through the woods late at night, all by himself. Despite the fact that the footage is not the clearest in the world, the unidentified man is seen wearing nothing but a pair of pants, and it appears that he has a cut or wound on the left side of his chest. Because of this, as well as the strange glow that emanated from his eyes, many people who are interested in the supernatural have questioned whether or not this photograph is proof that the dead may reanimate themselves and walk among the living. 11. This raccoon was attempting to scale the tree in order to reach the bird feeder atop it so that he and his companions might acquire some food. Unfortunately for him, he was unable to access the meal. However, he did sprinkle the bird seeds over the area so that his starving companions might consume them. It's possible that this act of charity gained some points with others of its kind. Who could say? 12. These homeowners put some bird feed way up high so those wild creatures won't be able to reach it. They also kept it away from any pets they might have, but the raccoons were more intelligent than they gave them credit. They chose to stack themselves on top of each other so that one of them could get the food. In the end, the only thing that was left for the homeowners to look at was the evidence of what the raccoon ruffians had done to their property. 13. Bears, one of the few creatures that occasionally walk on their hind legs when confronting a threat, are one of the few exceptional exceptions to the rule that most animals walk on all four legs. However, it has been shown that when specific deer believe no one is watching them, they imitate our habit of walking upright on two legs. 14. This covert trail camera captured another flying squirrel just in the nick of time before it landed on a deer that was not paying attention below. While it's true that the squirrel can't devour the deer, it's still possible that it can be pretty frustrating to watch. That's all for the video today. If you like what you have observed, remember to like the video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.